occupying the red corner, with Glenn Walsh, Peter Murphy, John Miller, and Danny Kelly in the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a 2 times Australian amateur champion. Last night he scaled the lightest of his boxing career at the Bendigo Hotel in Johnston Street, Collingwood, 59.70 kilograms. Working out of Jim Bradley's Essendon Gymnasium from Roxborough Park, wearing total black gloves,
They certainly look well there, Misha. They look in extremely fantastic condition, and Lincoln Stewart there looks to be very well, and Darren Miller, no doubt, also looks like he's certainly done the work. And as Howard Lee, our ring announcer, said, he's weighing in the lightest for he's ever been for a very lengthy period of time. Darren Miller in the black trunks in the red corner, Lincoln Stewart in the tasseled blue trunks, florid blue or royal blue trunks from the blue corner.
A lovely pair of trunks, I must say. I'm very jealous.
And he gets the fashion award for them already. Lincoln Stewart fashionably presented there by the house or whatever. And Jim Boland pushes them aside there in the start of this fight. Darren Miller's ducking and weaving. Lincoln comes in with the right hand. And Darren Miller, then he's looking very fast, Darren Miller. He's best condition I've seen him in for ages, I'd say, Darren Miller.
We call Darren Miller the veteran in this fight, and Lincoln Stewart the up-and-comer. Is only a young guy in his early 20s, if that. Only 21 or so. Darren Miller's a bit older.
Certainly that is two-time amateur champion Darren Miller. He's been a stalwart of Victorian boxing for a very lengthy period of time, and he's fought the best. And Lincoln Stewart doing a tangle. Lincoln's working away. Darren's hanging on to his right arm, and all Lincoln's got to throw with then was the left, but they're tangling up again. They're trying to get some punches in there, but Darren's very experienced here, trying to tie Lincoln up. But Lincoln cuts loose with the right hand, and sees Darren Miller back onto the ropes here nearly. Big right hand from Darren Miller. And
very excitable opening to this fight.
Oh, boy.
Get on top of each other in the first few seconds.
Fistic fury from Lincoln Stewart there for about 20 seconds there, and working away the solar plexus of Darren Miller, tries to fight back, puts the left hand around the neck of Miller.
This is surprising. It's a very close-in fight.
Is it ever? It is close in. They're getting very close in, tying each other up, hanging on.
It's quite a surprise. You expect both these fighters to start out with some long straight punches, some jabs, but it seems they'll settle into that fairly shortly.
Oh yes, well Darren Miller, he probably sees his best advantage as turning into an internal slugfest, I'd say, probably, and try and keep Lincoln, that right hand of Lincoln's, that straight right, and the one that whips around's a beautiful punch from Lincoln Stewart. And Darren Miller with the right hand gives Lincoln a crack on the ear hole. As they struggle again on the ropes, Lincoln has got the hands up and now the right hand, he loves that right hand. And slaps Miller with that right hand on the ropes, and Miller hangs on again, trying to stop him. Boland will break them up in a minute, I'd say, and steps right in and does it, Jim Boland. It is going to be close in fight, Misha, isn't it?
It's a very messy start to what I would have expected to be a much cleaner and more skilled fight than these two.
Oh, it certainly would be. Another problem that Darren Miller has is that he has cut easily too, so he wouldn't want to get in too close for too long, because his last 3 or 4 fights he has needed the corner to work feverishly on eye cuts.
I remember the last time I saw Darren Miller fight, after the fight I saw him getting stitched up by the doctor, so he's got a few scars there.
He's a battle-scarred veteran, Darren Miller, been around for a while and knows the ropes. Lincoln Stewart, the man on the way up, and just copped a good right hand from Miller then Stewart. That was a beautiful punch from Darren Miller.
Very hard to see what's happening in this fight just yet. It's a bit wild and woolly.
It is wild and woolly, no doubt about that. Oh, the heads got together again. They clash the heads. They've got to be careful there, Misha, with that.
That's right. Both these two have to be careful about it. Maddox he's had a much easier start to proceedings than he has tonight. He's been able to, get his range by jamming and moving, and he's had to deal with a bit of a tornado coming onto him in the form of Lincoln Stewart tonight.
Oh, that 20-second fuselage of punches from Lincoln just gave him the round in my book. It was pretty even otherwise.
Very hard to judge those sorts of, when fights get a bit rough and ready like that and people get inside, very hard to see what punches are landing and what aren't.
Oh, that's right. They're moving at 100 miles an hour. Just for that split second that Lincoln was able to cut loose, that class came out, and there was a couple of beautiful right hands thrown in that fuselage, but apart from that, the round was pretty even. Miller's gone on the attack straight away, and with a couple of punches pushed Stewart back to the red corner. Lincoln Stewart now trying to force the issue, and Miller's working underneath with an uppercut punch, but he's hanging on when he punched him, and Boland broke them up again. Jim Boland won't put up with any mucking around from these boys, Jimmy. A good referee, and the boys...
Miller landing a good rip to the body there, a good left rip.
Yes, yes, which is excellent. Darren's trying to work in close, but Lincoln is trying to smother him here on the ropes. He's trying to line him up, measure him, get that right hand working. He's got the solar plexus punches going. Miller's trying to hit his way out of it, and having a lot of trouble getting up those ropes. Lack of physical strength maybe, but Stewart, Miller flying away. They're both boys leaning on each other with their heads, and then he clips him across the ear hole, and Jim Boland's warned Darren Miller about the forearm, Misha.
Yes, not surprised.
That was unequivocal that he tried to push that one in, and Stewart now working away at the stomach region again of Miller. Miller's got the arm across it, though, trying to protect himself down there. But the boys are hanging on again.
Stewart, he's got youth and vigour on his side, but he's going to have to be careful about going too hard too soon. This is scheduled for 12-round fight.
Yes.
He has to pace himself up here.
Yeah, no doubt about that, but the boys have gone at fast and furious so far. I'd say that, I beg your pardon, is right from the word go. So if it goes a distance, they're going to be tired and sore and sorry at the finish.
They certainly are. Both of them are taking a fair share of punches.
And a pressure cooker atmosphere here at Collingwood Town Hall, where the humidity is high in here. The temperature probably dropped slightly since we got here. Be about 90 Fahrenheit, I reckon, at the moment in here.
I think Darren Miller cut slightly opening up there on the right.
Picked out an eye cut already on Darren Miller, Rex, but he picked up there by Misha Mertz at ringside there, an eye cut on Darren Miller. Is it on the left eye, is it, Miller, or the right? I can't try to tell the right eye.
Just at the edge of the eyebrow there, so it doesn't look like a serious cut at this stage, but if he works on it anymore.
Oh, and Miller spoke to him as he threw an uppercut to Miller's, as Lincoln Stewart moved in then, and swiped him with the right hand, but Lincoln, with the body strength, won't be denied. The boys in a tangle there, but Miller then made some comments to Lincoln Stewart just as Lincoln charged in at him. The boys are in a tangle here. Boland will break them up, and there's a lot of talking going on here too, Misha, in between these boys.
Any idea what they're saying to each other?
I can't hear them amongst the crowd, because the crowd's going berserk here at this action fight here, this OP.
Probably not fit for family consumption.
But in this Oriental Boxing Association lightweight title, these boys are fighting feverishly here tonight, and they've been at it from the word go.
Very messy fight too.
Lincoln Stewart up on the toes. He's a straight up and down fighter, and he has lateral movement. Miller's now being pushed across the ring, and the boys are together. And what a great round of boxing that was for round two. That was fantastic stuff, that. I thought it was a fairly even round, didn't you?
I'd say Stewart was slightly ahead on the
I thought Stewart probably had the upper hand again there slightly. There he was able to get the crisper punches away and was able to use his strength and push.
That's right, he landed quite a devastating combination of Darren Miller during that fight.
Yes.
He was cornered, and there's a bit of a wake-up call as one of our co-commentators
He was pushing Miller around a bit there, not like a rag doll at this point, but certainly using some strength, and there's some crisp punching there towards that right hand and the solar plexus work.
I'd like to see Lincoln Stewart use a bit of a jab and try and get Darren Miller in the
Mix it up a little bit.
I think so. Just keep a bit of distance from his opponent and try and move around a bit more. But I don't know what Ryan was saying to him. He might be giving him the opposite advice for all I know.
Oh, I don't know about that, but we can't hear a thing here apart from what we're saying ourselves because the noise from the crowd, they've really worked up here. A big capacity crowd.
Both is very popular, it seems.
Very popular. They've got all their fans here, and capacity crowd at the Collingwood Town Hall in Melbourne here tonight on a hot night in March the 17th, St Patrick's Day. Miller staggers in the ring. There's water there in the Stewart corner. The corner told to clean it up, and they do so. And Miller is now pointing at the head of Stewart, saying he got a knock from that head, but Boland didn't agree, pushed them aside. And Stewart now in the tangle again. Stewart's trying to work away at the head. The solar plexus is going. Stewart's going crazy here. Lincoln Stewart with a big huge range of punches on Darren Miller. Oh, the right hand miss would have driven the head through the ropes, I reckon. Oh, yes.
He'll tired sooner or later, but it's a very impressive display of combinations.
He's decided that this is going to be a round for him, Lincoln Stewart, to try and perhaps win this by way of the short route if possible, but Miller's there. Miller's right there with him, grappling, and the boys split up. Lincoln Stewart again covers up, comes in with a solar plexus punches straight into Darren Miller, and Darren's bent down again trying to exert some authority. Stewart again has got Miller on the ropes, and Miller can't go off. The heads are together. They're always, these boys are fighting a very close-in contest, Misha, and it's been like this all the way through.
That's right, it has. Right from the opening bell, they were almost head-to-head straight away. There's been no long punches.
That's dangerous too when they get very close in like that with those heads, and Boland's looking at them, telling them to break. He's getting worked up, Jimmy. He wants to see them try and keep their distances there a bit, but they just won't stop it. They're right into that.
The pace of this fight's been said very early on. I'll be very surprised if it changes from what it's currently.
Oh, certainly. No, they've gone out at hammer and tongs from the word go, and they decided to fight a slugfest type bout, like a couple of heavyweight boxers that we saw recently down at Knoxville between James Grimm and Lightning Lupe. It was like they fought in a telephone box. They were so close. And the word to both boys by Jim Boland. He doesn't like it when they're close in. Lincoln Stewart with the right hand was a good punch, but Darren Miller was able to fend it off slightly there with a glove. As Stewart works away at Miller, that's turning into Miller on the ropes, and Stewart trying to pound away. Misha seems to be the text of this round. I think Darren Miller just hasn't got the strength to work his way off those ropes. That's a big problem for him.
This is a very tiring way to fight. For both boxers, it's really going to be a test of stamina because they're leaning into each other, they're wrestling, they're pushing around, pushing and shoving.
Oh, yes. It's got to sap the energy very quickly, I'd say.
Most definitely it will. They'll find it hard to do anything.
Oh, yes. Good right hand from Miller then, too, Michelle, with just really made its way through the gloves. And Miller gives him one to go off with. Right on the bell. A love tap. He certainly is, Lincoln Stewart, very well-mannered boy, and his home area is out in the eastern suburbs around Lilydale, Croydon and Knoxville is where he's done most of his boxing recently.
He's been known to have interesting hairdos. Sorry, much of pink hair, it's very becoming.
Yes, he's certainly in the more orthodox hairstyle here tonight at the Collingwood Town Hall. Another Lincoln Stewart round though, round 3 I'd say. Probably had the better of Darren Miller there. He did a fair whack of the pushing and shoving again. He seems to be slightly stronger, and the weights tell us that because he has got a 2 kilo point advantage, or just under 2 kilos from the Darren Miller. So get ready for round 4 in a pressure cooker human environment here tonight, the 17th of March at Collingwood Town Hall. Peter Maniatis and Jeff Moden Promotions putting this on in a very hot atmosphere here, and the boys will be feeling the heat. Miller now, the boys aren't right together as they've been fighting. They're trying to step it up, and now Miller's had some treatment done to that eye, Misha, I'd say.
Been working around the corner on that eye.
He just copped a big uppercut from Lincoln Stewart too, and would have felt the effects of that. And Miller gets back to the centre of the ring. This is a tough assignment now for Miller here. He's behind on points, and Lincoln Stewart still looking as strong and classy as ever at this point of the fight. And again, pushing Miller across the ring to get him on the ropes again. And this is where Stewart seems to be his game plan here is to get Miller on the ropes and start a pounding session. Miller trying to box his way out of it now, but struggling to get off those ropes. Stewart's just leaning on him. Miller's doing most of the leather work, with Stewart just leaning there trying to measure Miller.
Miller needs to try and stay in the centre of the ring as much as possible, but this pushing and shoving is making it very difficult.
Oh, that's right. It's probably going to be very difficult to fight for these boys. Miller looks like he's getting a bit tired there at the moment, just leaning on Stewart. I could be wrong.
Trying to take a breather there on his shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like it, but not the time to start thinking about a touch of shut-eye, because you got Lincoln Stewart standing in front of you, pounding away, and just one mistake, and that man has got the punches to put an end to it all. Miller backed into that neutral corner now, and the Stewart's trying to measure him with that right hand. He's just trying to land that big right hand at this point of the fight.
Still throwing punches, still in the fight, so...
It's a gutsy effort by both these boys to fight to this capacity in these weather conditions here, because it is shockingly humid.
They're both putting in another stage.
Darren Miller then just landed a couple of nice punches to Lincoln Stewart in the stomach region, but Lincoln's come back. He's leaning on Darren now and trying to push him on the ropes and throw ribcage punches, and now moving back and punching to the head of Miller, but Miller replies. It's really turning into a scrappy slugfest this round here, with the boys just having a rest. Yes, having a rest before they start to unleash some punches here. But Darren Miller tries to throw his left. Lincoln Stewart's got that straight right hand working. He's now working away at Darren Miller, ties him up.
It's a very good looking straight right hand that Lincoln Stewart's got there. It's very sharp, very straight. There's not signaling with it at all.
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful right hand, that right hand of Lincoln Stewart. When he gets back, in fact, it'd be more to his advantage if he did give himself some space to use that punch, because it's a beautiful punch. Darren Miller's probably fighting the right fight, and Lincoln Stewart's falling into those tactics of the heads together and pushing and shoving, because that suits Miller, doesn't suit Stewart. He's getting a bit frustrated at this point of the fight.
I think his stamina and his fitness are there. I think he just wants to get himself some distance on, throw some clean punches or land some clean punches on Darren Miller. I can understand that.
Well, I nearly gave that an even round, but I decided to give it to Stewart because of the right hand punches that he delivered about 2/3 of the way through that round. I thought just got him the round. That right hand is the thing that's doing it for him, I think, when he does get the chance to let it cut loose. But if he's going to be...
I like the way he follows up his jab with that right hand. He doesn't just throw the right hand wild. He lines it up, he measures up.
Second punch, round 5.
Nice and straight.
Crowd going berserk here again at the Collingwood Town Hall, and Darren Miller is sizing up Lincoln Stewart for round 5. Well, these boys go at it again. It's a 12-rounder. This 12 3-minute rounds in very hot conditions. You may as well sit on another 6 or 8 rounds due to the conditions here of the effect that it'll have.
Both these guys will be a couple of kilos lighter at the end of this fight.
Well, they will be if they'd like to weigh them in at the end of it, because sweat's dripping off them, pouring off them. As Stewart again pounding away at Miller, and Miller trying to reply, and it's the same story here with the boys slugging it out. I just tend to think if Stewart could keep up on his toes and get that right hand going and those left jabs you were talking about, Misha, he'd be a lot better off.
Yeah, I think if he jabs, he can keep his distance, and then he can really let that right hand come through. Up close like that, his punches are smothered.
That's right, and he just doesn't need to get into this pushing and shoving match with Darren Miller. It's playing right into Miller's hands, because that's where Miller would prefer it to be that way. Lincoln Stewart now throwed a nice punch to the solar plexus. Miller tried to wrap a right hand around the head, but just made it around the neck of Stewart. And they're again in the Miller corner now. We're head to head and slugging it out on the ropes right in front of Miller's corner. Stewart working away feverishly at the trying to get through the solar plexus. Miller's trying to get out altogether. He'd just love to get out of there, I think.
Yes, I think all he needs to do is really spin around and he'll be out of there, but he's just waiting for the right moment and waiting for that burst of energy to help him.
Yeah, well, another grappling session here, and Jim Boland will move in and split them up.
Darren Miller with new trainers for this fight. He's moved on from his previous mentor and is now with Jim Bradley in Essendon. So
yes, And that's a extensive corner over there for the thriller Darren Miller. A number of cornermen there assisting him. And Jim Boland now has a word to Lincoln Stewart, and I'd say that would have something to do with the heads again, and I think he's threatened to take a point off Lincoln if there are any more abnormalities shown in this round. Now, Miller throws a wicked left hand which missed, and it moved away from Stewart. He's now tried to use that left-hand jab, but the boys have slowed up a little bit here.
Slowed up, and perhaps for the benefit of the spectators possibly, we're starting to see something a little bit more skillful.
That's right.
Lincoln Stewart's a bit lighter on his feet, a bit more mobile. His footwork's a little bit a little bit quicker and a little bit more on the ball than
Certainly is. And, well, it was a nice one. That could have, I don't know whether that come from a punch or a head clash then, we don't know, but he has been opened up there, and now Stewart trying to work away at the rib cage again. Now Miller's leaning on him, he's trying to keep him off him and then throw a repercharge of punches at the same time, but that blood will be starting to drip, I'd say, out of that cut. That would look like a nasty cut, that cut from Darren Miller on the forehead, and if that starts to drip down, he's going to be in trouble, Darren.
doesn't look too bad at the moment, but
I think that's the end of the bell for that round, and the boys hugged each other at the end of it. Got a good feeling in there. Very good sportsman, and you'd have to say that Stewart again seems to certainly be exerting his authority here, but it's a scrappy round just the same. It cut to...
You'd have to say that Stewart's the prettier boxer at this stage. Darren Miller shows that he's battle. Obviously, previous fights are taking their toll on Darren Miller's cards that are opening up quite easily. Headbutts and punches.
Correct there. He does have a cut problem. They've decided to put the Vaseline there on the forehead and hope that that cut doesn't reopen then. Very difficult for him, and Lincoln Stewart's looking fairly calm and collected in his corner. His trainer doesn't get flustered at all, Brian Beaver there. He's very relaxed.
Very good for a boxer to have a calm trainer, just delivering simple instructions and not overwhelming
Well, here we go for round 6 of this OBA lightweight title fight between Lincoln Stewart in the blue corner and Darren Miller in the red corner, and the boys again now they're starting it off again as they started round 1. They're right into it from the word go there, and turning it into that slugfest we were talking about before, with Miller back on the rope, Stewart flying away.
Miller's elbow coming dangerously close to him.
Well, they've got to be careful, not that the heads to get close, but they do throw the elbows around a bit and they get in close like that, and that referee Jim Boland will be quick onto that if there's any problems with those elbows.
Very hard for Lincoln Stewart to get any leverage on those punches. They're landing on Darren Miller's shoulders and gloves, and it's hard to get through. You can see an opening from that close proximity.
And that's right, there's a lot of punches landing on the fighters' arms and shoulders from this close-in stuff, because that's the only target they've got when they've got their heads together. They're flying away like that at times, or maybe around the back, but...
slipping through there. I think Lincoln Stewart just got caught.
I'm just surprised Stewart's still continuing to fight this sort of fight, really. You think that he'd step back and give himself room to punch, because that's where he shows he's got the class to do that.
I'm not sure that his fighters is trying to do that.
I think he wants to win it the slugfest way, Lincoln Stewart, to show that he can win a fight in this sort of fashion. So maybe that's the tactics here tonight.
It's quite possible some fighters, want to prove that if there's any doubt about their capacity to take a punch, about their chin, they want to show that they can fight in close. Oscar De La Hoya didn't have quite sharply, so it's not surprising perhaps for a young fighter like Lincoln Stewart to show that he really can go toe-to-toe if necessary.
No, that's a good point. Very good point, that they can fight any which way that they have to fight on any certain occasion that arises, and that's probably what the Lincoln Stewart tactics are here tonight. Maybe we might see him in the next couple of rounds step back and use the right hand a bit more in the jab, the left-handed jab, and maybe they'll continue on like this for a couple more rounds. But they're certainly fighting the Darren Miller style at the moment. There's no doubt about that. Miller's happy that he's there, tying him up, and Jim Boland now splits them up and tells him to get back into action. Pretty even. Oh, big right hand from Lincoln Stewart. Darren Miller, it's just explosive punching. And Darren Miller says, that didn't hurt, come and give me some more, but gee whiz, you wouldn't want to just cut loose, and he's done this on a couple of occasions in this fight, just explosive punching style, Tony Weeby style.
Ryan McGill looking very pleased at this moment, a big grin on his face while Jim Bradley over there is going quite red in the face, yelling instructions to Darren Miller. So from the looks of the corner, then we can tell he's the more accomplished fighter.
Oh, well, that's Darren Miller, a big right hander, went straight over the top, and Miller again, the boys touched gloves, but that was good round from Lincoln Stewart, and he looks pretty confident at the moment. That was an explosive 15 seconds from him, no doubt about that.
Very impressive barrage here, those combinations really are continuous, they're very hard for, it'd be very hard for any boxer to get through and stop, because once they start coming like that, it makes it very difficult to think under that kind of pressure, so Darren Miller will be struggling.
Pulverised Darren Miller there for about 20 seconds, and that's what keeps putting the points on the board for Lincoln Stewart in this fight. He can exert authority when he wants to, at will virtually, proving his class at this level.
His fitness level's very high. I mean, that's really impressive work, and he doesn't look tired at all. He's taking a few deep breaths when he's not
Oh, yes.
He's not gasping for breath at all. He's a very relaxed boxer.
Here they go for round 7, these two boys, and they're making their way back into ring centre. Jim Boland has said, wipe the water off the canvas, boys. We don't want any slipping over. It's very dangerous. So here they go again, straight into the action in round 7. Lincoln Stewart, both boys, Lincoln Stewart's trunks are dripping with water and sweat, and it's sprayers flying everywhere from these boys there. They're trying to keep themselves hydrated, as they say this day and age, throughout this fight.
Darren trying to get the jab working a bit in this round.
Well, the boys now getting themselves tangled up in the ropes again. Stewart using his strength again to push Miller into the ropes in the neutral corner, and Miller trying to punch his way out of it, but Stewart's got the strength. He's got 1.5 kilos to play around with there, and Miller comes back with a nice right hand. And Miller's trying to hit Stewart come back, but Stewart's equal to the task. Here comes in, and Jim Boland pushes them apart. Yes, well, Darren Miller then hit Stewart coming in with the right hand as well. Lincoln Stewart was wide open, and the gloves had a look out at Darren Miller. Miller argues with the referee, but don't argue with Jim Boland. Darren comes straight to Lincoln Stewart. And Lincoln Stewart throws the left hand and the right. Darren Miller was a big punch. Miller is standing there. Boland looked like he went to touch Miller then or break them up. I can't see, but the eye cut there, Misha, is starting to come there at the left eye of Miller. Is in a bit of trouble.
We're halfway through approximately. I'm not really sure that Darren's going to, his face is going to hang up.
It's going to be his biggest problem here if Stewart keeps dropping those left jabs and straight rights on those regions of his face, Miller's face, that have been cut. Now he's working away at that plexus. Miller's got the gun in, hanging on and punching with the uppercut with the right. Jim Boland may not like that, but he's doing it at the moment there, Darren. And now pushes them apart. Darren looks to the side of the ring. That left eye doesn't look too good there, but the blood's dripping down the side, so it's not affecting his sight.
Pretty lucky with the course of that river of blood flowing from his eye. I think it would be very difficult if it was flowing straight into his eye.
At the moment, in fact, it's been wiped off by Stewart's head as Stewart comes in. They're so close together.
Very gracious of Stewart to do that for Darren Miller.
They're really close together, these boys. Oh, big right hand from Miller, went straight over the top. He telegraphed the punch and Stewart ducked. Saw it coming, and quick reflexes, Lincoln Stewart in that position. Lincoln Stewart now right hand, the solar plexus punch. Darren Miller came back with a hard punch to the solar plexus. He's trying to slug it out with Lincoln Stewart, but Lincoln's equal to the task. You just get that feeling if Stewart drops a big right hand on Darren, he'd be in a lot of trouble here. But he's got to be getting tired, and now he's starting to polarise. On the ropes on the far side of the ring, Lincoln Stewart. Darren Miller's hanging on there, he's all right.
Really not giving Darren Miller every time.
corner now on both eyes and on the forehead, I think, at the moment. And getting instructions at the same time. It's turning into a tough. I think Lincoln Stewart's up on his feet already before the end of the stanza. And there's water in that corner, which they'll have to wipe that water down, because Jim Boland will get a bit annoyed about that again if they don't. And very messy there, and they're going to wipe it up now, make sure these boys don't slip over. Here comes Lincoln Stewart, right hand straight away into Darren Miller, who's also throwing leather.
More than halfway through this fight now, and neither boxer really shows signs of tiring or giving up the ghost. It's pretty much the same story as it was early on. Possibly Lincoln Stewart's feeling a bit more confident, a bit calmer, and just doing better than Darren Miller.
Now, Darren Miller's put up a courageous effort here, but you just get the feeling with Lincoln Stewart that he's got that big right hand, that if he's able to use it enough and hit the right spots regularly enough, that he could end. If anyone's going to end it early, it'd be him. But Darren Miller's a very courageous, top veteran boxer in Victoria, who's been an icon in this state, and he's fighting very well.
Also an electrician by trade, I think, Darren Miller. So something to fall back on if things don't go well for him.
Well, there's plenty of electricity in this town hall here tonight. The crowd's been berserk right from the word go. They've been right behind these two boys, and it's been a top night's boxing here at Collingwood Town Hall, put on by Jeff Moden Promotions with the assistance of Peter Maniatis. Now, Lincoln Stewart working away.
Lincoln seems to just walk forward with his punches and really just not give any breathing space to Darren Miller. He just stays on him all the time. There's no
constantly
chance
there.
to step back and take a breath and see what's happening. Really, but Lincoln Stewart really is marching into Darren Miller.
Oh yes, good left hand too. He's a very busy fighter, Lincoln Stewart. Very much the sort of the Fennick style about him tonight, like that, because Fennick trains his boys that way. The Hussain brothers are very busy fighters like that. They're constantly out there opponent.
Very impressive fighters, those Hussain brothers. I think they've got a chance to go very far.
Oh yes, and they've got that Fennick beasting style. They just keep at you. They just won't leave you alone. And
body punches. I've seen them finish off a number of fights with some really penetrating whips to the body.
oh yes, well, they're very good body punchers, and they've been trained by the best in Jeff Fennick and Lincoln Stewart. Virtually repeating that sort of style. Oh, Darren Miller started a punch. It started in Tasmania then with the right hand, but just hit fresh air. Lincoln Stewart had been and gone by the time that punch had reached the head level. And Stewart, a big punch to the stomach by Stewart then would have set the wind out of the sails of Darren Miller for sure. And they're back in the neutral corner again, attempting to slug it out. Jimmy Boland looking closely at the boys, looking at the heads, and making sure that they don't get into a head clash situation. Miller throws a wild right hand again. He's missing with those punches. Misha, he's just throwing them high, wide and handsome a bit now, Darren Miller.
Stewart seems to be very good at throwing several left hooks or ribs at once, not just a single hook.
That's correct. He's got a combination of punches, and he's doing very well, Darren Miller, here tonight.
There, but can't hear him over the voice of Bon Scott.
He's a very relaxed man, Lincoln Stewart, at the moment, and they get ready for round 9 for this OBA lightweight title between Lincoln Stewart of Victoria and Darren Miller, also of Victoria, at the Collingwood Town Hall in Victoria, 17th of March 2000. And here comes Darren Miller flying away at the body of Lincoln Stewart. He's got a lot of points to make up at this point of the fight. Lincoln Stewart pushes Miller again onto the ropes. It's been the pattern of the fight all night, with Miller's And Miller being pushed back by Stewart. Stewart having the extra bit of strength, capacity to do that, and Miller trying to box his way out. And the boys doing a ton of work inside. That's
Stewart's really throwing a lot of punches. A few of them are landing clean, you know, there's a lot of them landing on Darren Miller's arms. He's sort of doing too much work and not
enough dividend for it, Misha.
Right, not hitting his punches quite enough.
Well, that's where perhaps standing back and using his punching power and his reach would be more to his advantage. But Stewart now is on the ropes, and Miller's pushed him back there. And the boys again in a tangle. And that Miller's eye cutters open up again. The corner can only do so much with those eyes. And Miller's in a fair bit of difficulty there at the moment. And Barry Michael at ringside here now. Barry Michael joining us at ringside. Good to see you, Barry.
Thanks very much, Steve.
And Misha Mertz, Barry Michael, and Barry's here. Now, how are you seeing this fight at the moment, Barry? It's all been close in work all night, hasn't it?
I just walked in, Steve. I only saw the last round, but it looks like a fantastic pace. Darren Miller, you know, I mean, Lincoln Stewart's a great prospect, one of our best fighters, but Darren Miller, an old pro, has got himself in real good nick for this, and he's putting up the fight of his life.
Certainly is in fantastic condition. The boys have been fighting in a telephone box all night long, Barry. It's been the same style.
Like this from the word go. It's been very close, very busy.
Incredible.
I'm just wondering whether you think that either one of them might be better to get some distance.
Well, Lincoln Stewart, I would think, would be better off staying the distance at this stage of the fight. You know, Darren's hope is to stay up and wear Lincoln out. You know, because he's not as fast as Lincoln. Hasn't got the reflexes, but he's got the condition and the experience. He needs to keep it up close and stay, you know, keep it a tight fight. Lincoln, I think, should box a bit more.
I've been saying that too, but I haven't had quite as much experience as you in the ring. But I would be giving Lincoln Stewart that fight.
Yeah, I'd say get away. You know, keep your head out of there a bit because you end up with a cut as well.
Yes.
You know, box a bit. You know, the fight you're in front on points. I don't know the exact scores, but I believe Lincoln would be in front or
well in front.
Well in front of you, okay. I'll tell you what, Darren Miller's landing some bombs though. He's really making it a great fight.
It's in a great fight, no doubt about that, but we got the feeling that maybe the Stewart corner decided to fight this style here tonight, maybe so that Stewart could say to himself, well, I can fight close in and box, I can do it any which way but loose, Barry. But you'd think that if you, with the class and skill, if you can get back and throw that right, that straight right's a beautiful punch of Stewart's.
Exactly.
And that left jab, you'd think he'd want to get away and do it that way.
Exactly. He's much more likely to sustain a nasty injury fighting the way he's fighting. That's for sure. Great fight.
Great fight.
He's got the fitness. He seems to have the fitness to be able to get some distance on his opponent.
Lincoln? Yeah, Lincoln's always very, very fit. As a credit to himself. Glenn Walsh is one of my old sparring partners for 100 years. He's trained Darren Miller for this fight and he said to me that Darren's the fittest he's ever been. And I think that was seen at the weigh-in.
This is a new trainer for Darren Miller. He's moved on from his previous trainer.
No, his father's always been with him, John, and various other guys. But Glenn Walsh, who's on this side of him, is one of my old sparring partners for a long time. Very experienced guy, brilliant boxer himself in his day, and he's got his own training routine that's brilliant. It's really brilliant.
The work rate, Lincoln Stewart's work rate seems incredible.
Incredible. He's a very fit boy. I've seen him fight a number of times, and I'm extremely impressed with him. But again, I'd like to see him maybe stay out a bit and stay away from those potential head clashes, etc.
Although Darren Miller seems to be suffering more from the head clashes.
Yeah, Darren's 34. He's got a lot of scar tissue around the eyes. He's been in some tough battles.
Here we go for round 10 now. The boys.
Round 10.
Round 10 and Lincoln Stewart and Darren Miller again flying away close in, fighting in the telephone box as we've been saying. And,
good punches from Miller.
Beautiful punching from Darren Miller now there. He's been at it also all night long. Lincoln Stewart coming in and he's got that bit of extra strength too, Barry. He pushes Darren onto the ropes and then tries to start that polarisation session.
Yep, he's got the strength on Darren. He's had Darren, what I've seen, backing up, but Darren is landing beautiful clean counters like he just did then.
Yes.
And really, I wouldn't, if I was in Lincoln's corner, I wouldn't be happy with some of the punches that he has been hit with at this stage, to be honest.
His youth and enthusiasm are causing him to rush at Darren Miller when he should be just taking a step back and taking a look at him and picking his shots a bit.
Yeah, well, look at that. Beautiful punch from Darren Miller.
Short, sharp and crisp, and those punches started from the top of the shoulder. They have plenty of power in them.
Exactly.
And Lincoln Stewart's not getting everything his own way now. In fact, Lincoln Stewart now, he's either got a small cut himself or maybe it's that blood from Darren Miller's face.
No, I thought, good punches from Darren Miller there.
And now they're working both boys there in close. I can hardly find punching room here.
Scoring punches from Lincoln Stewart, but there's really not a lot of weight in those. I mean, they're just, you know, they are scoring punches, but there's not a lot in them. That's a better punch.
Darren Miller, 2 uppercuts there that caused some trouble. Darren Miller.
Flurry of about half a dozen punches then, but not a lot of payoff.
Not a lot of power in them.
Gee, you wouldn't want to suffer from claustrophobia, Barry, would you?
Oh, that's for sure.
These boys will be copping it tonight.
These guys are going to be sore for days.
And
Good work by Lincoln Stewart. Beautiful.
beautiful right hand. Left hand there punching is beautiful.
He's got a beautiful whip and hook, Lincoln Stewart. He's got great combination puncher. You know, got the full chip.
Pulls up those hooks too. That's pretty impressive work.
He does. I'd like to see him put a bit more purchase in his left whip. There's not enough. He needs to bend his left leg a bit more and make it, you know, hook it in more.
Put a bit more body weight behind it.
A bit more into it.
He can certainly you know, throw many of them, but he needs to make some of them sink in.
Exactly. Look, that was, I'll tell you what, this is Darren Miller's round so far.
Yeah, he's doing very well here, Darren.
Oh, beautiful uppercut. Oh, he's hurt bad.
He's caught Darren in a bit of trouble here.
Oh, he was hurt, Miller, there. He was wobbled for a second.
Oh, yes, he's in a bit of trouble. He can't cover up, Barry. He's having trouble putting the gloves up at the moment, and he's suffering a bit.
Oh, he come back with a good hook, though. I'll tell you what.
Big hard Darren Miller. Stewart's all over.
Hang on. He's still making a lot of them miss, and there's not a lot of power in them punches.
Both these boys are...
Yeah, he's got to pull it up and fix this glove up.
Yeah, and put the Darren into the neutral corner.
I think Lincoln got a cut under the right eye.
Yeah, I thought he did have...
Yeah, I think he has.
I thought he did have a cut of some description there. I saw blood underneath it. And Lincoln's coming hard with that right hand, trying to pepper away at Darren Miller. Wants to end it if he can. And this is a fantastic fight. The ball's gone. And Lincoln Stewart. What a stop.
Wow, what a round.
What a fantastic round of boxing. Well, by golly, did Stewart come back hard after Miller probably had the earlier part of it, Barry.
Miller won the first half of that round clearly, and Lincoln Stewart came back like the true champion he is and finished well on top in that round with, you know, brilliant combinations. I mean, he threw stacks of punches, stacks and stacks of punches. He's in superb condition, Lincoln Stewart. Well, both of these boys are.
Lincoln Stewart's work rate, I just can't get over it. It's amazing because early on in the fight I thought he would move himself out and get that pace up. But we're nearly to the end of it now.
And he's still going, round 11.
He's still going at the same pace. I think that's incredible fitness.
They're both the sorry boys, these two.
Oh, look, when you take into account the humidity level in here and the weather conditions,
It's
and
pretty
I
warm.
think it started off at the night, it would have been 100 Fahrenheit in here.
Exactly.
And these boys are fighting 12 3-minute rounds. Barry, you ever fought in conditions like this before, humidity like this?
Mate, Ash Wednesday, Frank Ropers, 48 degrees under the ring lights.
People would have been smoking there.
The hall was full of smoke from the bushfires.
Oh,
What
gee.
about the cigarettes?
Oh, look, there was that much smoke from the bushfires, it didn't matter.
Well, there you go. So these boys have still got to wait. There's another 18 degrees to make up there by the sound of it. But here they go now. Lincoln Stewart's got the crowds getting right behind both their men.
Big chant for Lincoln Stewart, Lincoln.
And now the crowd going berserk here. I mean, you don't see it as much as you'd like to at boxing. And the crowd really getting behind their men here tonight at Collingwood Town Hall.
I'll tell you what, what I've seen in this fight, this is a brilliant fight. This is a credit to these guys, credit to the promoter too.
Yes.
This is what boxing needs.
Logan, the first
For sure. It's a very good
Top match.
magnificent match, and Lincoln Stewart still peppering away with those fiery, fast and furious jabs and rips to the solar plexus.
That was a good whip. He put a bit of purchase into that last one. That was a good whip.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Bit fatigued now. It's
Yeah.
looking like he's showing some signs of tired.
Trying to get a breather, I think. Maybe that experience showing.
It certainly is. Darren Miller's trying to fight a cagey round here for a second minute punishment.
Darren Miller landed a good ones on Lincoln Stewart.
He did land a couple of clean shots. Actually, look, Darren's landing some great punches.
He's done very well throughout the bout. He's had a stronger man all over him like a rash all night long, pushing him into the ropes. And
Do you think
That's incredible work rate, isn't it?
it is. It's an amazing work rate. And I thought Darren again was in big trouble there, but able to sustain that punishment. He can really take the punishment. He's a very courageous man, Barry.
Look, he's smothering him.
Oh, absolutely smothering him. It's a plastic bag over your head at the moment, but Lincoln Stewart's back. It pops down over the canvas with a big right hand. That's the corner now.
see his strength sapping away. The combination punches, that was a beautiful short right hand. I hope Darren Miller's okay. He seems to be in a bit of trouble at the moment. But look, I tell you what I saw in this fight, what a fantastic fight. Fantastic effort by both boys. And, you know, like a brilliant finish from Lincoln Stewart. Yeah, championship finish. Championship finish. He's a champion, this kid.
He's got a ton of ability, and Peter Maniatis in the ring with him there, his mentor, wishing him all the best. And he goes over to see the stricken Darren Miller, who I think still may have his eyes are open. He's in a bit of pain though, in a bit of a fog too, Darren Miller. That was a big fuselage of punches, and the weight of punches, Barry and Misha, by the end of it, just put Darren Miller, he just collapsed under the weight of it, I think, in the finish.
No, I think he got hit with a clean right hand. I think when you've got so many shots coming at you, your brain can't absorb the, you know, your nervous system can't absorb it all at once, and you just lose consciousness for that fraction of a second. You get hit with a clean right hand, which he did, and it was lights out.
Good night, nurse. Yes. And that's what's happened here tonight. Well, that was
right hand, or was it another guy?
a little short right, overhand right. I just hope Darren's okay, because Darren's had a tough, hard career.
He has.
And this is definitely the end of his career, I would imagine. I couldn't imagine him fighting again after this, and he's gone out in a very creditable way, but I just hope he's okay.
Yeah, we hope so too, because he's been a courageous, gutsy icon of Victorian boxing, Darren Miller, and he's still on the canvas there getting treatment from the medical practitioner, John Jory. And Lincoln Stewart, a very happy man in his corner, but gee whiz, these boys, ladies and gentlemen, are going to have the ice packs on tonight, aren't they?
But yeah, that's for sure. They'll be...
But not as tough as when they fought 15 rounds.
Well, I'll tell you, that looked pretty hard to me. 11 rounds at that pace, wow. It was like that from the first bell?
Yes.
Yeah.
It actually reminded me a bit of your fight cholesterol.
Well, that was a pretty flat out pace.
That was very flat.
The 15. Darren's on his feet, which is great to see.
Yeah, on his feet, giving Lincoln Stewart a hug. He's bleeding from that left eye.
He's actually got a cut, I think, near the left ear there as well.
Across the left eye. He's also got a small cut in the right eye, but he's also got a cut in his forehead, Barry, which happened earlier on that Bishop picked up on. And a big cut there, which they've been able to cauterise that in some shape or form, because that was going to start to trip about 5 rounds ago, but they kept it under control.
Yeah, they've done a pretty experienced corner.
Yeah, they were keeping the cuts under control because they were starting to pop up all over the place.
Yep.
They weren't bothering him, during the fight.
This could go down as fight of the year, yeah?
It'll go very close. In fact, the recent heavyweight fight between James Gromer and Lightning Lupe at Knoxfield certainly push it, but they were two similar fights. You would have thought you're seeing two junior heavyweights in there tonight, the way that they fought it, a very similar type of fight to the Gromer Lupe fight.
Yeah, excuse me, Misha and Steve, I've got to get up and present the championship belt to the winner. Yep, thank you very much. Thanks for the chance to commentate with you guys for a couple of rounds on such a great fight.
I'll have to have you, Barry, without any
Steve.
problem whatsoever from Jeff Bowden Promotions and in assistance conjunction with Peter Maniatis or Misha. That was a fantastic effort. Good on you, Barry. And we look forward to seeing Barry.
Bringing his insights to those last few rounds.
Oh, a man of enormous skill in boxing, a champion, a world champion, IBF world champion. And
the last man to fight 15 rounds in Australia against Lester Ellis.
That's right.
After that, they made him 12 rounds. And,
Yes.
That was a very tough fight, a legendary fight.
Total gentleman too, Barry Michael, a wonderful man. Lincoln Stewart holding Darren Miller's hands up here. Darren Miller has recovered somewhat from that knockdown.
That was a pretty, that must have been a pretty hard punch because he's on the ground there for a fair while.
Yes.
Not just a flash knockdown,
Well, as Barry said, that short, sharp right hand was enough to do the damage after those fuselage of punches that Darren Miller sustained just prior to the knockdown. And
Howard Lee looks ready to make the presentation. It's fairly free.
Certainly there, and just collapsed under the weight at the finish there, Darren Miller of the Stewart onto fuselage of punches. And here we're getting ready here now.
It was interesting what Michael was saying about that kind of barrage and just, the one that did the damage was
Short right hand.
Yeah.
Total the count of 10, 1 minute, 57 seconds into round 11. Would you congratulate the